Hey, there we go. We still got
What's
sound?
up? Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh my goodness. Those of us who are over on Twitch, we talk about this all the time. You're not a streamer until you have tech problems. When you have
All
tech
right.
problems, now we know you're a streamer. So, and I'm
So,
I'm gonna do this. I can't. You know what? I'm not on my stream. I can't do the 5 minute timer, but we're gonna do this because you like it. You like it,
good hair.
and I've actually posted VODs with no hat on, and people are like, "Who was that on your stream?" Like, I don't know who that was. I'm cracking you up. I'm cracking you up. All right, so I'm watching you people. I have so enjoyed getting to know you, having you hang out in my
Oh,
community, and knowing that you are in other communities. But one of the reasons I was excited to invite you in to talk about digital ministry is because of your limited mobility, your limitations to be able to go to a physical church. And so, if you can just kind of introduce yourself a little bit, talk about what you want to share, and then how you have had limitations of going to a physical church and what digital has been able to provide for you as far as church and community.
okay. For once, I won't ramble. Get out of here. All right, let me do this. Hello, everybody. My name is I'm Watching You People. I am a community game streamer here on Twitch, family friendly channel, and we just play games. We have fun. We laugh, we joke, and then I raid. The reason that I started streaming on Twitch honestly had nothing to do with ministry, and it honestly had nothing to do with streaming. Uh, you'll see it in my About Me section. But long story short, I was grieving, and this was a distraction. So I started playing words on stream because that's the only way I could control it and also meet all the people and play it and do something to get my mind off my grief. And then it just kept going and people kept coming. And I said, oh, wait, do I have a community? Suddenly I do. And the more I'm into this, the more I'm realizing there's something I need to do. I don't really know what, but there's something. And I start meeting more Christian streamers, and they see all this potential in me. And this is what you should do. This is what we could tell you to do. This is what we can help you do. And I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. God, what do you want me to do? Because that sounds cute, but what say you? So, what I've realized is yes, I'm physically disabled. I am in a place where it's just not safe to travel because I have a power chair that has a really bad short in it. It cuts off when it wants to. The brakes act goofy, and it's really making this rickety sound. Like it shakes sometimes. It makes me nervous. Who wants to be stranded? So I know it's not safe to go to church. So yes, we do have digital church, and yes, we can do certain things, but there's something about community and communing and fellowship that just makes it hit different. So I found that yes, I will do my church digitally, but what I found on Twitch was yes, there's a lot of mess. We know it can be rather toxic here, but there are some genuinely good people doing awesome stuff and playing Fortnite and doing shooters and doing all the other things and still having a great time. And I said, well, I'm already here and I'm already playing community games. Let me see some more. Let's see. Oh, you want me to just talk to you? Really? Okay, I'll ramble for a few hours. And that's what I started doing. What I realized about myself is I am simply available. And when I say that, I don't have any license. I'm not a minister by trade, by some degree, but every Christian is a minister. We've been given a commission. We live our life. Before we tell anybody about Jesus, the way we live our life shows a lot. Before we ever minister or share one verse, one sermon, one any testimony, the way we let our light so shine says a lot. And that's what I do. I say, God, every day I wake up, it is my hope to represent you in the kingdom well. I know I'm goofy. I know not everybody's going to get me, but that's what I aim to do. So, whoever just followed me, thank you. So I am available. Just like what I did for Thanksgiving. I made a 12-hour stream that is literally just a wholesome hangout. We just give a space for people who are bored, lonely, stressed, can't travel to family, doesn't have a good relationship with family, or you're hanging out with your family and you need 5 minutes away from them because y'all a lot. I'm gonna be back at 10:20. I'm gonna be back in 2 hours. You know, you just hang out with me and you leave. And this is what I do. And this is how he uses me. And nobody gets it but God. And I don't feel like explaining it all the time. But I know he's doing it. And you can minister while not practically ministering. Because I don't do devotions. I mean, on Sundays, I love Gospel House. You're going to hear it. It's in my sound alerts. Yes, I'll talk about the Lord. I'm not ashamed. But when you come to my stream, you're never going to get me calling you a sinner. You're never going to have me judging you or talking about what denomination you belong to and how I am awesome. Because I'm not. I'm just another sinner saved by grace over here. And I'm goofy. So you're not going to get anything too serious anyway. But I know he uses me. And he can use anybody in any space. Let me tell you something. That thing about the potter's house, he can use cracked vessels. He can use broken people. And I know it because I feel purpose every time I push live. And I maybe talked a bit more, but that just came out of me. I hope I answered your questions well.
That was a fantastic answer. That is one of the things I love hanging out with you. You are infectious with your
Oh,
energy and your love for Jesus. And those
yay.
people who are lost and lonely, I don't know how they can help but relate and connect with you. And in the chat, you are such a blessing to welcome people and make them feel welcome. I know if you
Oh,
are, and that's not saying anything against my other mods. I've got great mods all the way across the board, but when people come in and maybe they're having a lonely day, I know you are going to be right up on top of giving hugs with consent and passing cookies, and
yeah.
they're going to know that this is a place that they are loved. And I hope everybody that was listening just felt all of that love coming through where you were at. And I heard you talking about the fact that you can have community in a digital space, and you've created and you just stumbled into it
Hmm.
uh, without intentionality. And I think some of the time that's how the Holy Spirit leads
Yep.
us into something that we can say yes to a little bit at a time. And then
Hmm.
suddenly when we reflect and we look back, we go, how in the world did I get here? Because I would have said no to all of this. Uh,
That part.
which, by the way, I see Alice in the Palace is still in the chat there. Been hanging out all day, off and on in the chat on Twitch here. Alice in the Palace is my first follower, and Pastor Brock
Oh,
VR, who I talked about earlier, kept telling people to go follow me because I was going to stream, and I kept saying, "No, I'm not. Why would I want to do that? That is the
oh,
furthest thing." And she's like, yeah, I'm going to trust God that you're going to stream. And so I'm going to go follow you. I don't know if that's how she said it, but that's how I think about it. And so she followed me. And sure enough, yeah, I ended up doing that with no expectations, no thought that I would ever be doing this. And God takes you one step at a time.
amen. Amen.
Uh, I've got a couple of questions I want to ask, and then we can talk about other stuff. Uh,
Okay.
can the church exist digitally? How would you answer that question?
Yes. God is everywhere. God uses us in numerous ways, and He doesn't just use Christians. So please never get that twisted. He will use anybody for His glory, as you said with Pharaoh. Because I remember that talk. I was paying attention. So yes, most definitely. Without rambling, there you go.
Okay. Next question. Can missions be digital?
Definitely. And I don't mean just in the arms of an angel. I mean, anybody who sees a need can give digitally. We're not talking about another country. And we're not talking about some big, huge conglomerate. You with $5. You could just say, I have $5. If somebody donates to this thing, I will double it. I am broke, but you're going to get $5 from them and get $5 from me. And that could spark something. All we got to do is get $5. And this big, $5 adds up when everybody keeps jumping on it. And there's something about wanting to be part of something, that fear of missing out. Who knows FOMO? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Digital, that's a thing. And it's real. We're not being manipulative. There's some bored people with too much time and money on their hands that don't know what to do with themselves. They find something they're really passionate about that they've never heard of in their life, but it touches them. And heck yeah, you can have a ministry. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember if you were a mod at the time or not, but going back about, I don't know, 10 months ago, somewhere around there, when I
Close.
was talking about the prayer booth that I was doing and starting. And yeah, just talking about a vision for something and sharing it in the stream. And then suddenly someone gives a donation that I didn't even know was a follower in the chat because they'd
Mm-hmm.
been lurking and they weren't, verified yet. So they couldn't even chat, but they gave a donation anyway because
Mm-hmm.
there was a compelling reason to connect with people. And we see this all over on Twitch, and you see it all over digitally too. People that have GoFundMe pages, and you
Mm-hmm.
share about somebody's need, and if the need moves you, you contribute, you help, you
Mm-hmm.
do things to help others. And if you're watching this either live or watching it later on, go to theChurch.digital.com/give, and you'll be able to see the whole list of things we're hoping to do for the kingdom digitally in the next year, based on how much giving that we're able to receive and how much funding we have. And
Mm-hmm.
boy, the money goes a whole lot further in digital space, it seems like. And the other thing too, like you're talking about giving $5, people might think, oh, that's not much. I'll tell you what, if you don't know Twitch, go hang out and watch people get excited over a $5 donation, a
Yep.
$1 donation, or
Mm-hmm.
one biddy. Now, some people
Yep.
won't let you have the one biddy. A bit is just a penny. So the 1 bit donation, I get excited. I mean, somebody gave something. They took the time to give. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter how small. They thought enough to give when they could have just went right on by and did something else instead.
Yup. Yup. And I want to just piggyback real quick. There is also that thing where it's not just because it moved you. Let's be honest. Sometimes people have some fire effects. It's that endorphin rush from sitting there and seeing your favorite song go off because somebody just gave 5 bits. Somebody gave 20 bits. Somebody gave a
Oh,
dollar. Oh, that's my song. I'm going to give a dollar. Y'all, get your sound alerts together. Get your blurps together. All your things, y'all. You know what I'm talking about.
I, I know, I know. You're always telling me the new things I need to get, and usually it takes me about 3 to 6 months to finally get to getting around to doing those things. And
Mhm.
the list is always growing because creative people who view other people, who know how to engage community, are helping me learn. And I love learning from you. I'm glad you were able to come on and just share a little bit.
Yay. No
Jeff,
problem.
how was the meal?
It was actually wasn't a meal. And it wasn't even coffee because it had, like I said, it's sugar.
Oh,
So I
okay.
I got to hug my wife, and
Oh,
she's like, "You're really
Oh.
sweaty," and so like that was
Sorry.
that was that was. I mean, my joke was funny. Yours was even better. That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. Man, thank you for jumping on here and being part of the stream here with us. It was funny. I was just casual in the background, and Flat Cap, I heard you say, and go, give to the church.digital.com/whatever, and I was
yeah.
like, oh crap, it's the wrong link. So we we had it's embedded into a bunch of the videos, and that we laughed about this earlier in the stream, like I don't know, 8 hours ago. But
Okay.
evidently when the team produced the videos, they put the .com in there by mistake, and I didn't catch it until like an hour in the stream.
I
Yeah.
didn't think it was there, but I read it because it was there.
It was
So that's
there.
why
So it's
it was
like,
there. So I read it. I was thinking, I don't remember the .com being in there,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I read. Okay, so
The joke I said then was, if we own the digital.com domain name, fundraising would not be an issue for the organization. We would
There we
have
go.
plenty of funding available just with digital.com, selling that bad boy. But, thank you for jumping on here. Thechurch.digital, if you're interested in giving and supporting the organization moving forward with that. We've got a couple of questions left to hit. Do you have time to hit through those, Leighton? The standard
Oh,
questions, or did you
I
already
did.
do that and I missed them?
I already did those questions.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm gonna, as we're landing the plane here. Any closing thoughts on this before we go on to the next guest?
I think one of the things, and I'll let them watch and comment on this too, is there are probably
Sorry.
people that are connected with your church that have limitations, and they would love to, if you have someone come alongside of them and encourage them and teach them to be involved with connecting with people digitally. I mean, you talked about your mom and her being able to do that. Uh, just because you don't see someone in the church anymore, if you're in a physical church, doesn't mean that they're useless. Um, I haven't seen this, but I still imagine, a person who, maybe they're a teacher, whatever the profession is, they've got grandkids, is probably doing Zoom calls, even if they're in the nursing home. So if you got them in a nursing home still connected with your church doing something digitally, you probably could have them involved in ministry, reaching out to people that are lost and lonely with nobody to have a conversation with them, who are sitting around all day with nothing to do because maybe they're retired and homebound.
Yeah. I love that. What an incredible opportunity to empower people to do ministry. Maybe that don't have the opportunity in physical space. One of my, this is a dream for me, and I've tried this a couple times, and honestly just didn't have the right organization to work with. But even like empowering people who are deaf to engage in digital community, and to do that, and to use webcams with the sign language to have conversations. In many ways, like the deaf community really struggles in physical space because there's just, in proximity, there's not a lot of deaf people, and oftentimes they're alone in that. And so, what we're seeing here by connecting people that maybe have physical limitations and giving them an opportunity to engage in there, to provide value. Like we had Pastor Coco, she was talking about Alina earlier, I think, and I met Alina maybe once a while back, but who has some different limitations, and man, what a testimony to leaning in and creating this, and so thank you very much. I'm watching you people. That's a little creepy. I may
Oh,
have a
wow.
nightmare about that one later tonight, but thank you for jumping on here with us and being part of the stream.
Okay. You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, Leighton, have a good
Yeah,
night,
just
man.
just
Go ahead.
one last thought. As far as limitations, the churches do not have to comply with ADA. They do not have to do anything with
True.
the American with Disabilities Act. And we've
Hmm.
treated that like we don't have to worry about people who might not be able to come up the steps, might not be able to do other things. And I know some of it's for historic reasons, if you've got an old church and those kinds of things. But if that's what you're letting get in the way of reaching out to people, digital is a way to reach out to people that maybe
Mm,
somebody has a heart to reach out to. Maybe the cost of renovating your church or upgrading so that you can have loop systems, and that's for hearing impaired people to be able to do things. Phones are getting that tech. So like
Hmm.
lean into the places where you can reach people.
Yeah.
I just be one of those things. I'm kind of passionate about that. I've got family members with disabilities and limitations,
Hmm.
and I love reaching out to people and trying to find ways to connect them where they might not be able to otherwise.
And can I just piggyback real quick?
go for it.
Okay. What I found is, and this is a sad thing I've noticed, but this current generation is not always deeply into God the way He would have them be. And you will find that a lot of your older members may get and relate and keep that church going. Those are the ones you want to have. Those are the ones you want to hold on to and make sure can keep coming back. And that's not all you have, and that's true. But
Hmm.
make it a safe, compliant place for them.
Yeah.
Just do that, and so everybody see, when you take care of your seniors and your disabled, that gives you a place, and that gives you a status. We
Hmm.
genuinely care about our community. It's not just about the tithes and offerings. We take care of everybody. So yeah,
Hmm.
do that. Sorry, just my soapbox moment. All right, I'm back.
I, I, I love that. I had my mom on the stream earlier today. She leads some online Bible studies, some Zoom Bible studies, and
Mm-hmm.
my mom's 70 something. She aged out of ministry. We talked about it on the stream. She attends a very young church, and so she thought her ministry career was over because the church was youngening up, and so but I was digital pastor, and I was like, hey mom, come over here and lead some, like, mentor, disciple some of these young women.
Right.
And she, I mean, that she's been leading groups for 7 or 8 years, I think she said.
Mm-hmm.
um it's like I haven't worked at that church in years, and she's still serving regularly as groups online, and doing that. And so it's digital. There's just so much opportunities to
Mm-hmm.
empower people that may or may not even have an opportunity in the physical space to do this. And so thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I am with you people for this, for Leighton, for jumping in. But I got to pivot and move on to the next thing. Y'all
Yep.
have a great night.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You
All
too.
right, God
Take care.
bless.
Thank you.